blame it on age. I'm gonna blame it on I'm tired. Jen's on her iPhone. How you doing, Jen? Javier.
Irma's on there.
Irma. Intep's doing well. Thanks, Intep. Jason, how you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Say, hey, look that. You just gotta call on people and they're not scared.
Dorothea.
Dorothea, where are you guys?
Upper right hand.
Where's my hug this morning?
I'll give you one.
Just right here. I don't want a hug from you. All right, good morning, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Where's my clicker?
30 seconds.
Mike, I lost my clicker.
My name's already.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Shauna, just in time for some launch track prices, right? Let's welcome up Shauna, everybody.
I'm a winner.
So, how to play is closest to the actual purchase price without going over. Hello, Zoom. So these are sold in the last 2 weeks. So let's check it out. First one is West Lancaster, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, built in 2005.
Big house.
3,100 square feet in a small lot.
That is a small lot for that house, isn't it?
Mike.
I said it's not that small.
That doesn't look that bad, actually.
That's a nice.
How many offers did it have?
Are you copying me?
Did you say 565? Oh, were we not supposed to yell that out? Okay.
You gotta write it. Put it on your pen. Put it
Put
in
it
the
on your
air.
phone or
It's your first time back? Let's go.
I'm new to this. What do we do?
You just guessed the price, but you have to put it up on your phone and write it down.
Okay.
Without going over.
Can you not get 560?
What do we got up there? 565 online, 623, 550,
Go back to the
640,
details.
545, 568, 645, 575, 645.
606.
Frank's looking at the title real quick. He's pulling title.
Solar, owned, or leased?
Frank's cheating. What's your guess?
I don't like when they put solar on the front of the house. That's my pet.
What do you get?
Oh, drop it at 89. All right,
Small
actual,
lot.
are we ready? Actual retail price is?
5!
Are you kidding?
Oh, right here. Dead on. 580. 580. Dead on.
Actually, that's $575.
You know what?
You got good.
Awesome.
What's up, girl?
All right, next one is very few. 40509. West Palmdale, 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, $19.99. 2325 square feet.
5'8".
Wow, that's nice.
625.
Oh my God.
625.
Really? I feel like
1990.
Oh.
but it's upgraded.
4 million.
Wow,
I
that
feel like I've been to
nice.
this
That
house.
is pretty.
I feel like I photographed it once.
So it's been updated.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
I love the wall up to the second.
And the more I see, the higher it goes.
That is so
That's
nice.
right.
What do we got up here? 645. What do you guys think?
They're green.
Some Irma like thinks it's pretty. 629. What do you guys got? Come on, I got 560, 596.90. I like
What?
it. 596. Whatever, close enough. 655, 660, 579.
What'd you get?
I just shot down.
Got it?
665, 609, 605. All right, actual retail price.
Those people are going to
695. Anybody closer?
Those people can hear
A
me.
dollar over.
Very angry.
I think it's Kitty, right? We got a 740. I think that's over.
$6.95.
Wow.
$6.95.
That's it. Kitty with the big W.
Drop the bag.
Wow.
Let it roll.
Oh, Aston. Now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
Hey,
On a half, if you notice it.
when West
875.
Palmville 720.
875.
1.2 million.
Hey, that's what I said.
5 down.
What the hell? We're not the same way thinking today.
I mean, really though, what would you do with 4,000 square feet? It's almost a waste.
No, it's not.
No way.
I'm joking.
Yes.
Oh yeah, who would want to live there? That's terrible.
Very pretty.
Are you
We
serious?
only get 3.
That's it? $8.99? 1.2? 8.10? 8.35?
That's it. 21.2s.
I don't know.
$9.99.
I don't know about 1.2, but I know 1,200,000.
900, 1.2, 1.2, 1.1, 975, 1.05.
500 this time next year.
I think 5.
What are you thinking, Zoom? 1.1, 999.
All right, are you guys locked in?
Yes.
So the actual price is, oh wait, before you do that, did you see it has actually a whole yard to the left that's also included? Okay, wait.
Wow.
4.5 acres.
That.
I may have gone.
Yeah, but they're not going to keep the grass straight. Drought, you know.
All right, let's see.
Restrictions.
1.2,
1.2, baby. 1.2.
did anyone go above 1.2? Hold on, we got a lot of 1.2s. Did anyone go 1.21 or anything?
All right. 1 point.
Wow, we got a lot of winners.
Yes.
What'd you do, George?
1.2.
Oh, 1.2.
Thank you.
1.225.
Awesome.
Can't even 2 W's today. Welcome back again.
One for you and one for me.
All right, well, thank you.
No, I'm kidding.
Thank you,
I
Sean,
want
as
you.
always, for making it so much fun for us.
Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I could live in that. I'm okay with that. Very cool. All right, guys, we got a message from our president of KW. Oh, wrong button. I'll let someone get their phone real quick before I. All right, we're good. Nope, still going.
80s all over again.
Put the bagel down. Put the bagel down.
Hello, Keller Williams, and welcome. If you are new to our company, welcome to our company. You might not have seen us before. My name is Mark King. I'm the president of Keller Williams Realty International, and you are?
My name is Rebecca Rose, and I run the operations for Mark King here.
That's right. And so one of the things we want to do is have a monthly message of things you can be thinking about as we navigate this market that we're in. Keep in mind, we are in a 14-year economic expansion. And your only job as a top agent in your market area is to
focus on units and become the local economist of choice.
That's right. You got to know your numbers better than any of your competitors, because you will be that beacon of hope that people run to when the market shifts. And we're already seeing signs of the shift.
We are. We're already seeing them on the coast. This is what we know happens is because of our size, we can see things before others can, and it's time to start paying attention.
Yeah. What's interesting is you mentioned the data that we have. Last year, 1 in every 5 houses sold in the United States had a Keller Williams agent attached to it. So we had data for 20% of the home sales, the 6.1 home sales last year, 6.1 million. And so what we need to do is make sure we position you as the local economist of choice. And when you do that, you will become the voice for all of your clients and all the other agents in the marketplace.
You know, make sure that your market center is providing you with the tools you need, like the language of real estate, and that you're walking through this at team meetings so that everyone can understand how to bring the most value to both your buyers and your sellers.
I love it. We wish you an amazing Q3 and Q4, and we look forward to an amazing next year for you. Have a great day.
Weird. It's like we're going to be doing lore today.
Hello, Keller
We already
Williams.
watched you. Awesome. Let me get this going real quick. So that's our president, Mark King. He started as an agent in Keller Williams. If you don't know his story, it's a great story to listen to. And he became a team leader, and Rebecca Rose was his MCA, and they went to multiple market centers and helped people change their lives. And then he's grown through the building. So Keller Williams offers a great, an awesome career path for which one you want to take. From a solo agent to a mega team to leadership to all sorts of great stuff. So it's awesome there. All right, so let's get into our mission real quick at Keller Williams. Our mission here is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. Our vision is to be the real estate company of choice for our agents and their customers. And our values are God, family, then business. And our beliefs are win-win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing, customers always come first, commitment in all things, communication, seek first to understand, creativity, ideas before results, teamwork, together everyone achieves more, trust starts with honesty, equity, opportunities for all, and success results through people. We're going to spend a little bit of time on integrity today. I found a great video I'd like to share with you. I know we've spent time in the past on win-win. So what is integrity? So who has, what's integrity for some of you?
Doing the right thing
When nobody's
nobody's
watching.
looking.
No one's watching.
Doing the right thing when nobody's watching. To being ethical.
Yeah.
To being ethical. Those are good.
Keeping your word.
Keeping your word.
Yeah, doing what you said you were gonna do.
Reputation.
Moral.
Reputation.
Moral uprightness.
How many of us think that we all, you're someone of integrity?
Of course, everybody's gonna say yes.
Right? We all say yes. I think after we watch this video, you'll have some internal dialogue with yourself. So let's watch it. We'll go from there.
Is that because you're honest?
Of course.
We're going to answer the question, what is integrity? And as usual, I'll look at this from the standpoint of leadership. So let's get into it. After looking into this a bit, integrity has two parts. And the first way is the way most of us understand it. Part A is the quality of being honest, having strong moral principles, moral uprightness. This is about honesty, good character, and being trustworthy. This aspect of integrity usually becomes visible when we are honest, tell the truth, and have good character in difficult situations. The second part is even more interesting to me. Part B is the state of being whole and undivided. This is about our internal unity and coherence. In other words, if you've ever been conflicted about your actions and decisions and thoughts, when it came to your beliefs and morals, that may be a signal that you're not feeling whole and undivided inside. If you feel confused or torn about where you stand, that's another signal that you have some internal unity and coherence issues. You haven't settled it yet. And really, the presence or absence of integrity on the inside like this is where it starts. Our inner world drives our outward actions. So let's dig deeper into this and we'll start on the inside. First and foremost, integrity is an internal quality that people possess that others may not see. As Nelson Mandela once said, the first thing is to be honest with yourself. This is a prerequisite to integrity. People who can't do an honest self-reflection are going to get stuck, and it will be hard for them to grow and mature. I can't remember where I first heard this example, but I was once reading about a guy who made a personal commitment to not ever take anything that wasn't his, no matter how valuable it was, even if no one was watching. So I believe the example he used was, well, what if one day he was walking down an empty beach and he saw a Rolex watch in the sand? He said he wouldn't pick it up. That's an example of internal unity and coherence. Nobody's watching, and he's not rationalizing or fooling himself so that he somehow gets to keep that Rolex watch. He knows who he is and what he's made of, and he's not going to take something that's not his. I just read the other day about an employee at a Goodwill location who found $42,000 in cash that was wrapped up in some donated sweaters. As the employee was sorting through the donated clothes, she felt what she thought was a book inside the clothing. When she opened it up, she saw these massive stacks of cash, but she didn't hesitate. She instantly told her manager, and they tracked down the person who donated those clothes, and they returned the money. In an interview, she said it would never have occurred to her to keep the money. I'm sure it felt great for her to know who she was. It feels freeing and powerful to have that internal consistency rather than rationalizing and wrestling with moral decisions. And it's really easy to admire her because her moral compass was whole and undivided. And by the way, in return, the person who donated the clothes gave her $1,000 as a gift for being honest. But she didn't know that that was going to happen ahead of time. Oprah Winfrey once repeated an old-fashioned sentiment that I agree with. She said, Real integrity is doing the right thing, knowing that nobody is going to know whether or not you did it. That's integrity. Second, as an extension of what we've said, other people may or may not eventually notice your integrity on the outside. And when they notice, it could help you, but it could also cost you. Nicky Gumbel is an English Anglican priest, but he started out as a lawyer. And he tells lots of stories about the old days as a lawyer. One story he tells is about another lawyer he knows in England. And one day this young mid-level lawyer was in an office with the boss, the top partner at the firm. The phone rang, and as the young lawyer reached for it, the boss said to him, "If that's for me, tell him I'm not here." So the young lawyer answered the phone, and he said, "Yes, he's here. Just a moment." And he handed the phone to his boss. His boss glared at him, face turned red, took the phone, had a brief conversation, and he hung up. And he turned and was about to tear into that young lawyer. But the young lawyer spoke first. He said to his boss, "I will never lie for you. And I will never lie to you." That's integrity. His integrity is being tested. And some people might say, well, it's just a little white lie. But a person with a strong internal commitment to honesty won't do that. And the boss, by the way, was so impressed that he put that young lawyer in charge of lots of important cases and even asked him to be his personal attorney. But the key here is that the young lawyer didn't know that it would work out like that. He was sticking his neck out there, and it could have cost him. And even in the best of cases, it may take a long time before anybody recognizes that you have integrity, because it's mainly on the inside and only gets publicly tested in really visible ways a small percentage of the time. But we don't strive to have integrity to impress others. We do it because, could you guess, say it with me, it's the right thing to do. Here are a few practical takeaways. Integrity is a choice. It's a commitment that you make to be honest, trustworthy, and base your life and decisions on good morals. Integrity often means doing the right thing, even if it means putting your own benefits at risk. Question of the day, do you know anybody personally that has integrity? Share your examples below. I would love to read them.
All right, so what was your takeaways from that? Some ahas.
You do the right thing even when it hurts.
Even when it hurts.
Well, maybe nobody would even know.
Yeah.
Let me elaborate just a little bit. I have a friend who lives in Australia, in Brisbane. He was my best friend in college. He borrowed a motorcycle from me, and while he was using my motorcycle, the engine blew up in Tahoe. Not only did he tow it back and rebuild the engine, but the entire time that he did it, he kept me in a car. Because people owed him money, and he kept me in a car the entire time. He ended up having to rebuild the motor twice. So then he went back to Australia, started a business, and he ran his business that way, and he became a multi-millionaire. And he said, I do the right thing even when it hurts my business.
That's awesome.
True story.
Do the right thing even when it hurts your business. What about the internal dialogue with that? Anyone struggle with some, when things come up of the struggle is real internally? I'm the only one?
Everybody does. No. You put the $100 on the floor, I'll pick it up.
Yeah. At least you're honest, right?
And that's honest to God.
That's honest. He has integrity around his honesty.
No, he has honesty. Lack of integrity.
All right, very good.
We're going to...
All right, so we hear all sorts of craziness in this world, and I'm tired of it. I am a high I, an achiever, 3 on the Enneagram, an I in the disc, everything in the everything, all the other ones. And I don't like bad news. I don't like negative people. I like some positive stuff. So I would like to hear some positive things going on in this world. Becky.
Oh, my daughter's graduating high school today.
What? Your daughter's graduating high school. Great job, babies at 10.
Not technically I was. It's great.
All right, who else? Becky? I don't know, Becky.
I cleaned out my sock drawer this morning.
You cleaned out your sock drawer. Was it pretty,
It was out of control.
out of control? Years of socks.
That's what I say.
All right, what else we got?
I closed the deal that sucked.
You closed the deal that sucked. Congratulations. It's all over. Those are the best.
Leave the second.
Zoom, I need something from Zoom. I don't like this quietness. Tell me something good in Zoom. I'll call on you. I have no problem doing
Wake up,
it.
Zoom.
And if you've been typing, you're definitely going to get called on because I know you're there.
How come they're not?
Eden, you had anything good happen lately? Dorothea? You guys always have good stuff happening.
Well, my daughter is graduating today as well. So.
Hey! Congratulations with that.
What about the Eastside office?
Graduation. Is he
What's
saying-
that?
Congratulations on that. That's awesome.
Thanks.
All right, give me one more. Something good going on. There's a lot of graduation. School's out. Okay.
My daughter got married.
She got married? Congratulations. And moved to Tennessee. I'm sorry. Are you happy,
I'm
excited?
still okay.
You're okay with
I'm
it?
happy. She's happy.
Well, congratulations. That's exciting.
Go to Tennessee.
Now I have a reason to go to Tennessee.
Now you're gonna go visit Rob out in Tennessee some, okay? I like it. All right, very good. All right, get back to me real quick. Shift, let's see who knows this answer here. From Know Your Shift. What 2 actions must real estate agents take ownership of? This might have been answered in the class on Tuesday.
Huh. Like this is Jeopardy.
It is. Let's take a risk. What 2 actions from Shift must real estate agents take ownership of? 2 actions. Gotta take ownership of it. What are you in the
How they
business?
spend their time. Is that too general?
Procrastination.
Someone sent it over here as one of them.
Legion?
Lead gen. There's one. What's the other one? You guys need to read Shift. Come to class on
We
Tuesday.
don't know
It's
shit.
lead gen and lead conversion, right? In a shifting market, you must take ownership of what you're doing for your lead generation, what your conversion rates are, and what that looks like. Especially when things get a little bit tougher to convert, we need to be knowing how many people it takes to talk to. If I talk to this many people, I know I will get this many leads. With this many leads, I'll get this many appointments. With this many appointments, I'll get this many listings. With this many listings, I'll get this many closings to hit the goals I need to hit. Also known as an economic model. All right, we got some updated stuff, guys. KW Tech Update Import Wizard. So right now they've updated it on command. Very, very smooth and easy. If you have another database or CSV file, I get confused. Is it a drugstore or is it a file? I don't know. You have those. Thanks for the giggles. She gets it. That's why I keep her around. She knows how to keep a job. Anyways. So you're able to pull in a file really quick and easy, and you don't have to download the old file. This is like Mike's excitement right here, because he helped a lot of agents with this. Mike's like, yes! I just saved hours, because it really was a pain in the butt before. It is much easier now to import it in.
Right.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on the import wizard?
So basically,
So, I have my database. What do I do?
So you have your old database.
Right.
You could export it to any CSV file. Then you take that CS file and import it into command, and you don't have to download a special form, move things around like you used to. It just automatically will come in.
It recognizes it.
It recognizes it, puts the names in the right spots, the numbers in the right spots, the email addresses, all fantastic stuff.
Wow.
Yep. Designs for teams coming soon. So if you're part of a team and you're working in designs, you could share those designs across the platform, which is great. And then our tech microsite. Guys, there is so much in Keller Williams universe that you are offered. We are a massive, massive buffet, and many of you get up and you go eat the chicken every day, and you don't even go look at the other 1,000 plates that you have. This is what this is a help reminding you of all the materials that you have at your disposal that we sometimes forget about. So definitely check it out. There's a lot of great stuff coming in there. You can always check this up on kwconnect.com. Also, they really want to help agents make things easy for them, like social media content. So it's National Homeowners Month, so they're giving you how to build equity through homeownership, and they're giving you materials on KW Connect where you can take those materials and use them on your social media platforms. If you're someone like me who hates Facebook and Instagram and Reels and TikTok, I don't like any of it, and I don't want to go build it, look, it's given to me. plug and play. And I know most of you aren't taking advantage of it because I don't see it on your stuff when I am on there scrolling because I hate it, but yet I'm on there. June social content calendars because I'm addicted and I just can't help it. June social content calendar, they actually have a calendar made for you with different content you can put out on the social spotlight on KW Connect. So take advantage of this stuff, guys. Some design updates. They make things easy for you. We talk about a 36 touch. If you've worked with me, one of the first things we always talk about is what's your 36 touch in your platform? What are you going to be doing to touch your database? A lot of us, we don't know, right? Take a calendar out, look at the next 3 months, how are you going to touch your database 3 times each of those months? Well, Designs is giving you easy ways to reach out. They're giving you stuff that's going on. It's Pride Month. It's Juneteenth on the 19th. It's Father's Day. It's Father's Day on the same day.
That whole week.
Aren't we celebrating on the 20th though? I guess it's called Juneteenth. It can't be on the 20th. That wouldn't make sense.
You have the day off.
So it has to be on the 19th, but the holiday is on the following Monday. Okay, then summer solstice. All reasons to look. What's summer solstice? Biology. I don't know.
Are you talking about what happens?
No, what is it? It's a bonus question.
It's the
longest day of the year.
When the sun's directly over.
You know it's always on the 21st?
Yeah.
June 21st, summer solstice, longest day of the year. It'll be like light to like 9 something. All right, and then equinox?
March and in September.
And September, the 21st. Dead even.
Wow.
Winter solstice?
December
21st, shortest day of the year. Now you guys know. See, we learned more about just real estate here in Keller Williams. All right.
You just said only a nerd would know.
Only a nerd. Only a nerd. Of course, the broker would know that. Nerd. You were paying attention in high school. Nerd. Here, you're a winner. We're real estate agents, all right? All right, Keller Mortgage, offer ready pre-approval program and toolkit. This is one of those amazing toolkits that you guys have that most of you are not taking advantage of. It's Keller Mortgage. Launching in early June, Keller Mortgage is releasing their new offer ready pre-approval program. Giving your clients competitive edge. Basically, you're getting fully underwritten without knowing what the property is. You guys know with Keller Mortgage, they pay for your client's appraisal. And if they don't get the house, did you know they don't have to pay that money back? How come none of you guys are broadcasting that and using that to generate leads? There's a lot of great stuff in there. They give you social posts, flyers, all this stuff in your Keller Mortgage portal. KW Connect, go to resources, Keller Mortgage. Wow. All that stuff's there. We're a buffet, guys. You gotta get up and go look. Some good stuff in there. Top franchises, recession-proof satisfaction award. Keller Williams, the Franchise Business Review. We won the award. Woohoo! Look at us. We're awesome. But we already know that. Mega Camp. Who's planning to go to Texas in August? You guys should all be raising your hand.
Yeah.
See, Jackie's in. Becky, you're
Texas
in?
in August.
You're going. Becky's going.
I haven't bought my ticket yet, but I'm going.
Yeah, beautiful. Mega Agent Camp, guys, is a time for mega agents to come together and they network and they share. There's a lot of great training. Keller Williams in Austin, Texas. If you haven't been before, strongly recommend it. I actually like it a little bit better than Family Reunion. Family Reunion's a little bit more social, which is fun. Don't get me wrong, we always have a blast. But Mega Camp, I've always got a little bit more nuggets that I like from it. KW segments. This is another part of the buffet that many people don't take advantage of. You guys, we have so many segments that give you more resources if you want to specialize in something. Like KW Young Adults, Young Professionals, not Young Adults, a Leadership Mastermind, KW Search Engine Optimization, so you know SEO and all that fun stuff. Luxury Series, the commercial, land, military, new homes. These are all segments that Keller Williams offers that you could join and be a part of and learn more about those segments and become, guys, there's an opportunity for someone to be a land monster out here. Now like, I don't like land. Guess what? Nobody likes land, so get those referrals and just do a ton of land and make a ton of money, right? There's opportunity in that if someone wants to go be the professional in that area, and Keller Williams supports you with a lot of resources, special groups, stuff like that to see what they're doing and all that fun stuff. So, great stuff to learn. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. Okay. We have a lot of stuff coming up here at the office. So Financial Peace University, it's a 9-week session, guys. It's Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace. How many of us have ever fought with our spouses about money? You guys are all liars. Raise your hand. You're all a bunch of liars, unless you're single. Right? Financial Peace University is really coming together. Bring your loved ones in with you. It's getting your money in order and having not let your money just at the end of the month going, where'd it go? Who's done that? Where'd it go? Right? This is knowing where your money's going, paying off debt, spending wisely, and investing in your future. That will be starting on June 10th at 10 a.m. right here. Bring your spouses in, come in. Eliana Dominguez and Otto are going to be putting that together with the finance committee. Does this thing change? It does. It's the last time I missed this. Okay, dominate your market. Simple social media hacks and generating listings and finding qualified buyers. That's going to be the 16th. Steve Black is coming in doing a live webinar. He's a KW agent out in Colorado somewhere. I can't remember where he's at. Generating listing in tight markets, simple Facebook strategies to get referrals, leveraging video to position yourself. He's been going over all these topics. We'll be at the office meeting here. And then we have Quantum Leap, 8 to 4, all day. Lunch will be provided. This is for young adults 18 to 28, teaching them how to think different. Things that they don't teach you in high school, like compound interest. Basic things that you should know. If you don't know compound interest, you need to know it. Right? These are things that they're not taught in high school that we'll be teaching. It's a great opportunity for young adults to come in. We're actually getting low on seating, so get them in quick. And then, last but not least, our picnic at Fin and Feather on, barbecue games, prizes, June 25th, 11 to 3 at the Fin and Feather, RSVP at the front desk. Our sponsors will be there. Bring your families. Just going to be a lot of fun. A good event for us to get together and enjoy each other's company. Lower. All right. I'm done with that stuff. Now we focus on this. So, language of real estate. It's now more important than ever, guys, to be the economist of choice. Mark King said it on the video earlier. Let me get rid of myself. We need to know and be able to have, when people ask how's the market, you need to have an opinion, right? We don't know for sure. No one knows the crystal ball. No one knows exactly what's going to happen. But you can show data, back up what you're saying, present it to the buyer and seller, and let them form their opinions along with your opinions. And it's important that you know what's going on, especially in uncertain times. Let me show this real quick. I wasn't going to use it, but it's absolutely true. Mike, will you hit me up with the camera for the people on Zoom? Okay. So, seller's market, buyer's market. It's a pendulum, right? It swings. Typically, think of it as a golf swing. It slowly goes into the seller's market in your backswing. It hangs up there for a while. And when you start to see the shift, it comes through, but it accelerates through, going slow, then fast, fast, faster. And it swings into the other market, right? This is typically how it works in the shifts from the previous. Now, this column you could put right underneath it is certainty. People are confident in the last 6, 7 years, 8 years, it's been a seller's market. Everyone knew it. Everyone knew it was a seller's market. Everyone was okay with it. Buyers were okay with it. Sellers were okay with it. We knew. We were certain. Then you go into an area which makes it speed through is uncertainty, right? And it starts with the collective. It starts with us. We start saying things. We see it on the news. Interest rates are going up. There's war. We don't know what's going to happen. People get uncertain of what the future is. We are uncertain during this time of what's going to happen. And you see things slow down in uncertainty, right? That is what's currently, who knows exactly where we're at. But uncertain times are happening right now. Interest rates keep going up. Are they going to keep going up? Are they going to stop? There's a lot of questions out there. We're speaking it. It's almost like self-fulfilling prophecy, where we are speaking that there's uncertainty. People feel it. And then what will happen is when it does shift and it does go over, it'll be quick and fast. Then people will be certain again that it is a buyer's market. They'll be certain what area of the market will be in. So this area of uncertainty is a lot of confusion, and why it's super important. Mike, you can fit back to the back up to here. It's incredibly important to be the economist of choice for your clients, so they know in uncertainty that you are certain, that you are that bedrock of what's going on, and they can trust in what you're doing. And that's why it's important to know what's going on in the real estate world. How much time do I have? I've got to be quick. Go ahead.
Just want to say that the government tries to have a balanced market, but they rarely succeed. To have a balanced market which you have like 6 months worth of inventory, but it never doesn't happen. Either it swings to the buyer's side or to the seller's side. It does not sit in the middle.
Yep. Okay, home price appreciation since World War II. So you can see the appreciation over time, all right, of what our home prices have done over time, and you can see they've steadily inclined over time. So if you bought a house in 1945, you did okay, right? Even if you bought a house in 2006, you still did okay. So appreciation over time, about a 4% appreciation year over year. If you count on it, put it in the bank, you know in 30 years it's going to be okay, right? But what are we seeing here, right? We see the ups and then we see the downs. We've seen the highest appreciation that we've ever seen in a short amount of time. So it's something to be aware of. Forbearance numbers. Now this is interesting because we're all expecting kind of a shift, kind of see what that happens. But remember in 2007, 2008, our forbearances were insane, right? What caused that is so many people had bad loans, they walked away, short sales, bad loans, REOs was a massive reason why we went into a really bad buyer's market. Well, you'll see that our forbearances, obviously they were super high during May. Why? 2020. What happened?
Government shut down.
We shut down. Obviously forbearances are going to be a thing, right? And you'll see is the recovery through that time, banks aren't quick to repossess. Banks learn their lessons. They aren't quick to have a race to the bottom with taking all these homes back. So they're working with people. And you'll see the number percentage of the forbearance is actually at a historic low currently. So foreclosure activity at an all-time low. So U.S. properties with foreclosure filings into 2021, into the quarter 2022, we are at a all-time low, especially through, you can see through those years is why we're at an all-time high with such a buyer's market. So we're not seeing a lot of people in foreclosure activity currently right now, all right? A lot of people have been working with that. So lending standards have tightened since the crash, right? So the lending standards, the volume of loans in billions with a credit score below 620, right? They were doing all sorts of crazy loans back in the day with people that typically maybe not be able to as qualified as they are now. You can see the numbers significantly lower. They've tightened the standards what it takes to do that, to hedge of really falling off the cliff again. So mortgage debt is not a challenge. So household debt service ratio for mortgages as a percentage of disposable personal income. So total quarterly required mortgage payments divided by the total quarterly disposable personal income. So once again, back in 2007, it was 7.2%. Today it's at 3.8%. So what these are showing is that banks were smarter. They don't want to do what happened in the past. They're trying to be a lot tighter in what they're doing, not foreclosing on people right away, working with programs to help keep people in their homes, all right? To hopefully not have that cliff that happened back the last time. So mortgage payments, virtually unaffected. So one conversation we had, I know, I think Marvin had said it, is yeah, everyone's refinanced. You know, this is what happened back in 2006, 2005. People were refinancing, and they were taking out additional $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 a year on their mortgage payments, making their payments jump way up. Taking out that extra money, getting that ski boat, getting those trucks, and then watching them come get refinanced or repossessed because they couldn't afford it, right? Well, you look at 2020, 2021, they've only changed their payments within $34 for the year. So their interest rates were so low, they're actually getting lower payments most of the time and being able to pull out money and do other stuff as well. So the mortgage payment hasn't been super affected since the crash. It's actually been pretty standard. Now 2018, 2019, that's a concern with the amount. But in the last couple of years, it's been fairly low. So cumulative house appreciation by 2026. So this is a group of basically what they forecast by the end of 2026 that the home appreciation to go up by as of the first quarter forecasting of 2022. Optimistic, it could go up by 46%. Most panelists, between the combination of about 26% and the pessimists, still think about a 10% over that time period. Meaning that if the buyers are on the fence and you could show them this data that yes, we do expect a slowdown in the market, we do expect probably a shift, that might not mean though that we're seeing the prices just plummet. The prices might just be stagnant. They might not just be going up 10, 20% like they have the last few years. They might hold to, and a lot of them think that, right? So home prices forecasts for 2022. See, this is the average of all 7 forecasters. By the end of this year, they believe it will be about 9% of what the prices will go up on average. Who knows what GAVAR is? Where are we trending right now? year to date. Someone? Anyone? How you guys be the economist of choice if you don't know what the percentage year to date's gone up? Becky's gonna know. She's got homework. She's gonna start tracking this.
4%. What is it, Becky?
12.3% in Galbar year to date.
What is it?
12.3.
Year to date.
Prices have still rose 12.3%. Units are down. Know that. Units are what's important. Units are down. Prices have still gone up. Okay? So they forecast about 9%. We're actually on the high end of that. Fannie Mae thinks it's about 10.8, 10.4, 9.6, 9, 8.4, all the way down to 6.2 is the low end. But this is showing that at the end of if you bought a house January 1st, you're probably going to still have the value of it going up around 10% roughly. That's where we're at currently. The average sales price has gone up that much. So, change in mortgage payments, loan amounts, principals, interest, payment only. So if you got a loan, average rate of 2.73% January 1st, your monthly payment, not including taxes and insurance, was about $2,200. I'm sorry, $1,200. That same loan, where am I at? Oh, it's October.
Current.
Current, right here.
Left one. There you go.
Thanks, I'm learning. That same loan, because interest rates are closer to 5.27, that's even kind of low, and interest rates are a little bit higher now, would be about $1,600. So about $400 more a month for the same house. So the affordability has gone down. That's just currently where we're at with the mortgage payments and what things are happening. What's interesting is the average consumer is spending an additional $429 a monthly for items other than shelter. Meanwhile, average weekly wages rose just $212 per month. So the consumer is short by $217 per month. This means that the average consumer will be looking for a home that is $41,000 cheaper. Right? That's just on basically they're making less money and they cost more and they're not making as much money to make up for the difference monthly. If that makes sense.
Inflation is killing us, man.
Inflation is making everything go up, and that's drying up some of those buyers right now as well.
But this has been going on for years. This is not something new. You never will make the same ratio than housing are going up because it
depends on what the inflation is doing year over year. So typically, they want inflation to be about 2%. That's what the government aims for, 2 to 3%. They're feeling good with that range. Right now, it's like 12%. It's insane, and hyperinflation is what they're worried about. That's why they're raising interest rates so high. So if your inflation is about 2 to 3%, so that's why if you have your money parked in a bank and you're not getting that return, you're actually losing money over time. That's why real estate is such a safe investment, because you normally get about 4% appreciation on average year over year over year over year over year, which makes more up for that inflation. So,
but your income never follows. Your income never follows inflation, so that's why inflation is.
That's why I'm in real estate, because then I'm based off sales price. My sales price is going up, my money's going up. So, do you have a question? Yeah.
No, I just wanted to do an add-on to what you were saying. So right now, if you are a buyer, would you buy?
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, yes. As a matter of fact, I just had this conversation, they wanted to purchase $1 million home. It's not here in the Antelope Valley, which is, average for that area. So that $1 million home is like, I'm not comfortable with it because I know the market is going to go down. And the question was, how long do you plan to stay there?
Yeah.
And so he said a decade plus. I said, then buy. Because the time fixes it all anyways.
Every time.
Every time.
Long term.
Long term.
Every time.
So I am the worst seller. Right?
Because you won't sell.
I don't sell.
Yeah.
I never do. That's the way I operate as an investor. I never sell properties. I might refinance them, but I won't sell.
Would you leverage one to buy 2 more?
Of course. The only reason I would refinance is to buy an asset. So otherwise, there's no reason for you to pull out money. There's no reason. But if you're going to refinance so you can buy a truck or something that goes on your balance sheet that's a liability and it's not an asset, no, you don't do that. You take money to make money. So you're purchasing another asset.
Brad, right now.
All right, let's jump into the listings. Listings in Gavar. So you'll see red line is your active listings, yellow line is your new listings, and black line is your sold listings. What's the trend in the last 2 months?
Sold's going down.
And active is going up. Inventory is going up the last 2 months. So you'll actually see the new listings has been pretty flat with the amount of listings coming on the markets, but we're seeing the uncertainty of the buyers right now. Right, we're starting to see that. We've been, I know we've been saying it, shifts coming, shifts coming. We're not saying that's tomorrow. In the next year and a half, year to year and a half, we do expect a market shift. Right, it might not be tomorrow, but we have to be a key indicator of what's happening right now. And we are starting to see that. It's kind of odd to me. In the busiest month, typically in real estate, we're seeing less activity. Something to keep an eye on, right? We always say May is January and February is slow months. We get back to work in March, then we start closing stuff in May. As the office, we did 192 units this month, which is still pretty well. That's, I think, actually outpaced last year. So as an office, we're not feeling that as much, but we're going to keep a sharp eye on it, that's for sure. All right, listing prices. We talked about listing prices going up. Sold median sales price. It's the black line, new median list price is the yellow line, and red active median list price. So you'll see we had a kind of a little downtick in the new median list price. They brought prices down a little bit, but the sold median list price actually jumped back up. It's crazy to me how high that is, almost at 470, right? So we're keeping an eye on that. Strategies for listing homes, right? Are we still going crazy top of the market, 20,000 above what we think it'll praise for?
40.
I would say it depends. Honestly, if you have a cookie cutter, beautiful, redone like the second house that we all guessed on, you're probably going to get above asking price with multiple offers on that still. We're still light on inventory, right? If you have a weird one out in the middle of nowhere that's no upgrades or nothing, those ones maybe not moving as fast, right? So it depends on what you have and what you're looking at, but it's important to keep track of what's going on. We are still seeing an incline on those average prices. Absorption rate. Who knows what that is?
How many homes are on the market, and if nothing comes on the market, this is how long it's going to take for them to sell.
Beautiful, beautifully said, right? It's a great indicator of our supply and our demand. This is our supply and demand indicator. Basically, we have 1.6 months, 1.7 months on the market. Once again, the part that's interesting to me is this is typically, we do get more listings this time of year. We traditionally look back, we normally do have an uptick in listings this time of year, but the sales typically keep up. So we'll see what happens over that time. We'll keep a sharp eye on this. Seems like we're getting a little bit higher than we normally are during this time. Sold to list price ratio. You should be selling this, showing this one to your buyers. If I put my house on the market for $400,000, it means I'm getting about $405,000 right now, on average. So when your buyer wants to write that offer for $388,000, $350,000, you slap them. Stop wasting my time. If they want to write that offer, it means you didn't do a good buyer's consultation. When you're the economist of choice and you sit down and you show them what's going on, they are perfectly prepared to go out there and write offers that otherwise don't go show them properties. Stop wasting your time.
They're sneaky buyers.
They can be. They can be.
Or you show them 100 properties and then they realize they're not getting anything.
I'd rather show them a lot of great material so they know what they have to do and only show 6 properties than write 4 offers that don't get accepted. I know this from experience. I used to not do buyer's consultations. Someone was like, hey, I want to see properties. I was like, woohoo! And I went out and showed a bunch of properties. Bunch of properties. Then I'd write offers that were nowhere close. They didn't get accepted. Oh, I like this one. And then after months of them not getting accepted, we finally get one accepted at sales price or whatever it was. Then I realized I could cut off a month of my wasted time if I sit with them and show them what the economy is doing, show them what the market's doing, let them see it, let them come to the realization that if they want the home that they really like, they got to write an offer for 101% better than what 101% of the sales price.
Manage expectations.
It's not. I'm telling them to do it because I want commission. I'm telling them to do it because that's just the average. If you really want it, you better go up to 102%.
Right?
Right?
Buyer broker consultation, baby.
Yeah, that's why we do it. All right, summary statistics. This is what's going on in Gavar. Guys, this is your cheat sheet. I am not brilliant. I don't look this stuff up and have complicated formulas. I go to Gavar, I click on my market summary, and I read it. And then I do a little screen print and I put it on here, and you guys are like, oh, he's so smart. No, I just read it. I just go to it. I'm nothing special. Absorption rate. Our absorption rate right now for May was 1.65. The year to date, 1.41. Looking from last year at a 1.1, we're up almost 30% in our absorption rate, meaning inventory is higher. How do we know this?
Because look at the numbers.
Because when you get on Flex MLS at least twice a month, even if you're not showing homes and you're keeping track of your numbers, you realize that we went from 350 homes to 400 homes to 450 homes to 500 homes to 550 homes to 600 homes to 650 to what?
700 something.
733?
743.
743. That's bad. So yesterday was like 7 something, like close to that. So very good. Average list price, May, 553. Jeez Louise. I can't believe that.
Sold price though.
May of last year was 492, up 12.126%. Let's see if I'm a liar and I really sold my numbers. Year to date, we're actually up 14%. It went up from last month. So I lied to you earlier when I said we're up 12%. We are up 14%. Man, I hate when I make myself look silly. Just kidding. I was probably looking at 12.2. When I say 12.3, I was probably looking at the month over month. Okay, median list price. What's that mean?
Median list price.
What does median mean?
Average.
Or one in the middle.
Not average. One in the middle.
Right?
What do we like better, median or average?
Medium.
Average.
Middle.
Medium.
So if you line them all up, you take the one in the middle or the average, you add them all up and divide.
Average.
It depends. I personally like average,
Yeah.
but the problem with average is, let's say you have 6 $3 million homes this month and 0 little homes, price will jump way up and the average will be way higher than it should be, where the median will just take all those away and get you in the middle. So it's up to you. You just want to know what you're talking about when you're saying it. But the median list price was 504. The year to date, we are looking right about an 18% increase from 472 to 400. Nice. Then our average is 474,000 year to date, from 422,000 up 12. Oh no, I was dead on. I said the average sales. I was dead on. I take it back. I was right. Nice. Gold star. Woo! Give myself a gold star. Feel good about it. All right. And then right here are consecutive days on market. We're looking from 32 days right now, from 27 days. So not too crazy days on market, up about 5 days. That's up still 18%. When you say percentage, that sounds kind of scary. You're up 5 or 6 days on average. All right. So what does that mean? What does this data mean to you?
Market could be slowing down.
Still a shift.
Some are unrealistic. Buyers are
Some is
more
still
cautious.
I just asked yourself, do I have a relevant market opinion based upon facts?
Yes. On emotions.
On emotions, I love it. So I just challenge you. This is information. This is for you to develop your own opinion, right, of what you think is going to happen based off your past experience. This is just some great information to keep track of. But when you look at it each month, you look at it every couple weeks, you see trends, right? You see yearly trends that just happen, right? The flow of real estate, and then you'll start seeing long-term trends. So keep a relevant market opinion based on facts. My personal opinion, it's going to be good for the rest of the year. We're still going to close some stuff. We are going to start seeing a slowdown, and if you start looking at LA, watch LA. As soon as LA slows down, how many buyers were from LA last year out here?
50%.
Over 50%.
Over 60%. Over 9,000.
Yep, over 60%. So guess what? They slow down selling their homes.
Can we look at like luxury markets and get a good idea from? Because I was looking at Beverly Hills last night, and there's a lot of price reductions happening.
There is. Yes, you can. You can do whatever you prefer. Well, I probably not, because it takes too much time to digest into all those. But yeah, if they slow down, we slow down. So keep an eye on those things. The coast, they slow down first, typically, and then it comes inland, right? So keep an eye. We do expect it to slow down. Does that mean we're going to have a cliff?
We'll see.
A lot of people don't think so because inventory is so low. Inventory is so low, it's hard to say that's going to happen. But I never count anything out.
That would be super cool.
Well, it's a lot harder. If you have a cliff and the prices come down a lot, if you remember right now you sell a home, you're making like $12,000. It's stupid. It wasn't that long ago. You sold a home, you made like $4,000. Like when I started real estate, it was not that long ago. And I remember, I think my first deal, I made like $3,000. I was like, oh,
That was a good one too.
like that wasn't that long ago. And it took a lot. I was looking back at some people I helped. I sold their house for like 172. They bought one for like 210. And then I got 3 sides of that one. I was like, yeah. And I'm like, you sell one house right now, you make more money than I made in all 3 of those. And it takes a lot more effort to make money in those markets.
Yeah.
So people that have been around in those markets, and it wasn't that long ago. So even if it's a little bit of a shift down, it's going to take more effort to make. Right now you sell 12 to 15 homes, you could almost make $100,000. That's insane to me. That is silly. When we used to do the numbers, to make $100,000 every new person, I want to make $100,000, it's 24 homes. Like almost always. You had to get 24 to make $100,000. So take advantage while the market's good, pay off some debt, put money aside, and if it does shift harder than you might expect, you'll be prepared.
And buy a super sick car.
And I totally took a lot of time, but Josh, you have some 5 minutes. I cut him down. Can you talk to us? Well, then you can go on a little bit. We got our broker's corner. Josh can do us about some good broker stuff.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
Good.
I see you all here in person today. Excellent. All right. So I wanted to talk about a few things that keep popping up and popping up, popping up.
Twins. You got the message. We match. Jeans and
Same color stripes and everything.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
Same toothpaste.
I'm just going to keep talking about the same things over and over and over again until they start disappearing. And when I say disappearing, these are telephone calls that I get, emails that I get. Josh, this is going on, this is going on, this is going on. So we need to figure out how to stop it from happening. All right, so let me ask this question. I always like to ask questions. The best way I think to mind thinking. What is the best way to renegotiate your contract? Say you have a contract, RPA, you're in escrow. What is the best way to renegotiate that? Anybody know?
Modification of terms?
No, you're in a contract, purchase contract, not a listing.
Oh, right.
Best way to renegotiate a contract is to serve a notice to perform when you can. Okay, so if you're representing a seller, you guys should know this. We've talked about this multiple times in contracts class. When you're representing a seller, your job to protect your client is to constantly throw the buyer's agent, the buyer, into breach. Notice to perform.
Put them under fire.
Right? So you got 17 days. Day 15, you throw them a notice to perform. If they can't perform, what are they going to ask you for? Extension of time addendum. Right? So they're going to come back to you on their knees. Please, can I have more time? What is time? Money. So don't give them time unless you get something in return. Money or whatever it is else you're looking for. Maybe there was a hard point of negotiation that you were struggling over and your seller is a little bit upset about. It's a great opportunity. If they're in notice to perform or they're in breach, you create that negotiation space, exchange time for something. All right, so use it as a tool. Don't use it as like a, because I get the call all the time, we're in a 30-day escrow and we're on day 47, and my sellers ask me, why haven't they closed yet? And I don't know what to tell them. Can you call the buyer's agent? Can you call the buyer's broker? Can you call the lender? Can you figure out why we're not closing? My first thing is, why aren't they in breach? Right? You don't have to cancel, but it gives you the ability to cancel. And if you're delivering it the proper way, and they really think they're going to close, they're going to send you that extension of time. So when, especially like the one where your seller's like, I just want $100 a day per diem, right? They always ask, well, you haven't closed it yet. We're on the 40th day. You want to go any further? I want $100. There's nothing there. You have no leg to stand on. You can send over all the addendums you want, saying you're going to get $100 a day per diem, but until you put them in breach and they ask for an extension of time, there's nothing there. You have to hope they agree with you. Does that make sense? So I would say use that more as a tool. Sorry, am I moving around too much?
No, you're good.
All right, so that's first thing. Cancellation of contract and cancellation of escrow and the release of the buyer's deposit. Okay, a lot of confusion on that one still. It's 2 forms on 1 page. If you look at that form, the CC, halfway through, about a third of the way through it, you'll see a big thick black line. There's the top half and there's a bottom half. There's the cancellation of the contract of the RPA, which unless you check the box that said it's mutual cancellation, it's you can just check buyer or seller. It's a unilateral cancellation. You guys know what that means, unilateral? One signature. Don't need both sides to agree to cancel a contract. If your buyer wants to cancel, you check buyer, canceling due to good faith paragraph, whatever. Your buyer signs, as soon as the ink dries, RPA is canceled. It's done. Bottom half of the form, and it does say this on the form, is a mutual instruction to the escrow company to cancel the escrow and to determine what happens with the money. Okay, it's totally different form on the bottom half. So a lot of times you'll see people say, well, your client isn't signing my cancellation, we need to get this canceled. Well, it's already canceled. It's already canceled if it was unilaterally canceled on the top half. You can argue about the bottom half all day. Now, who should be arguing about the earnest money deposit?
The buyer.
The buyer and the seller, not the agents. Says it on the form. Agents aren't the right people to be discussing who should keep the money. We're not the arbitrators, we're not the judges, okay? We're also not the clients. So if your seller doesn't want to release the money, don't get into a pissing match with the agent on the other side. Just be like, hey, look, I've advised my client. They want to hold on to the money. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing you can do about it. What can the buyer do? Just try to get that money back.
Take it to arbitration.
Correct. Call an attorney, send a demand letter, fall back on the mediation clause that they've already agreed to in the RPA. And if that doesn't work, they can go to arbitration because they probably initialed the arbitration clause. Then the mutual instructions on the bottom half of that form say that if you don't agree, escrow will just hold that money until there's a mediation, mutual instructions, an arbitration award, or a court judgment. They'll hold on to that money indefinitely until you decide what happens.
I was told they only hang on to it for 2 years and then they send it off.
Well, in 2 years, somebody better be doing
like
something. In real estate, 2 years is indefinitely. Right. Yes.
Josh,
Yes,
so it gets canceled, now we have a dispute on the deposit. What, is the seller able to sell that property with an existing dispute?
Well, because the escrow will still be open, right? So the answer would be no, right? Because
What if you start an escrow with another escrow company?
Yeah, possibly, but if you wanted to block it, you could. And you can file a judgment against them, so you could go that route as well. But what's really important on that, if you guys are representing a seller who doesn't want to give up the money, it's clear in the RPA, it states that if you're not giving the money back and there's no argument over good faith cancellation, right? So they canceled, they had their contingencies in place, it was in good faith, but you're just being a jerk, Mr. Seller. At the arbitration hearing, not only will the arbitration judge person say you have to give them the money back, but they can also fine you an additional $1,000. That's written in the contract. If you hold that money for no apparent reason, you could be subject to an additional fine. So that's our job as listing agents, to talk to our clients that aren't giving the money up when the other side contractually backed out.
I heard you couldn't close with another escrow unless that one closed.
Correct. Theoretically, yes. Sometimes they try to do things like go to a different escrow company. They should be, I don't know if they chat as an escrow question. Talk to escrow about that one if they check back and forth.
If the sellers are still holding the deposit and no cancellation has been signed or anything, can they put it back on the market? The home?
You can put it back on the market, right? You can put it, so the top half of the form has been signed. So the RPA is canceled. So you're still trying to decide the bottom half of the form. So you can put it back on the market. I would say though, to stay in compliance with MLS, probably put, subject to cancellation of the current escrow. So they know, right? They know going in, because what are you supposed to do to what's your responsibility as a listing agent to every buyer and buyer's agent? Disclose, accurate picture, what's going on here, right? No surprises. So when they write the offer, they need to have that information because it could affect how they write their offer. All right, any other questions about that?
So
That's a
that's
tough
only
one.
when the contingencies are removed, right?
What's that, as far as?
As far as the second half, the monies.
So,
We're
well,
within-
no, I mean, it's, so if the contingencies are still in place and they canceled in good faith, they're contractually supposed to get the money back. So if your seller isn't giving it back, you need to inform them you could be liable for another $1,000. Now, if you have all the contingencies removed, then you would not want to release that money. And then if a buyer tried to take that seller, because the buyer's like, still like, I'm not going to sign the bottom half of the form, then your seller would have to take the buyer to arbitration to receive that money. Right? So it has to be mutual for that money to be released, which means you need both signatures on the bottom half of that form. Okay. Yes.
What if the death on the property? Do you have to put that on the MLS, or can you just say?
Yeah, absolutely.
You should, right?
Yeah, you should be putting that in the agent remarks.
What was the question?
Death on the property disclosure. Put it in the agent remarks because it will affect the way the buyer writes the offer. Right? Some people will just write it lower, like, I'll buy it if it's $10,000. Yeah, $5,000. I pretend I won't see ghosts. Say All right. Okay, here's another one a lot of people have problems with. If it's not written in the contract, personal property not written in the contract, and the house closes, do you get it?
Yes.
No, personal property not written in the contract. So let's say, so we have one today. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus.
Yeah, is it left behind?
No, it was taken. Right? So there was one in the MLS that said this house is a great house, horse facilities, corrals, greenhouse. Property closes, buyer comes in, corral panels are missing, greenhouse is gone.
No, it's not contractual.
Wasn't in the contract. He didn't put it in the contract. Do you get those things?
No. Well, it's attached, though. It's attached to the property, so it's a little.
Corral
It's a
panels.
fixture.
Just sitting there, you know?
Okay.
Not dug into the ground.
Okay, then if it's not
Not dug
in the
into
contract.
the-
I always think if it's not in the
And the
contract.
greenhouse just floating up on top of the ground. They took that with them.
You don't got nothing.
But then they go, but wait, it was in the MLS.
It's just an advertisement.
Just check. Yeah, I'm gonna go over it until we figure it out, so it stops coming up. So, be very, very specific.
Can I break this down just a little bit?
Yes.
What if you put it in the MLS that these come with it, but the person who wrote the offer didn't write that in the offer?
Doesn't come with it.
Okay, good, because I had that issue.
Doesn't come with it because the MLS is not deemed to be, the MLS is not deemed to be a guarantee.
No, it was for a listing of mine, but the agent didn't put the refrigerator in it, so my seller said the refrigerator, and she was like trying to like,
Yeah, you
go
obviously
at me for the
you obviously don't want the refrigerator, so I'm gonna take it with me.
I had to
right?
buy some washer and dryer for my seller once because I didn't pay attention to the contract.
So be very, very specific about all the items that you want and all the items that you don't want. Be very specific. Even if you have to write an addendum on the side that lists out everything that you're asking for.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so the rule on that, I have a little saying that I love to say, which is never write yourself into something you have to pay yourself to get out of. Right?
Yeah.
So write it, take the time, write it, very specific. All right, cool. Next one, the SPRP and the COP. These are both the contingencies, one for the buyer on the front end going into the contract, one for the seller on the back end exiting the contract, right? So, SPRP, it's the seller's purchase of the replacement property. How many contingencies are on the SPRP? Two. What are they?
It's the contingency to close and then find replacement property.
Correct. There's 17 days or whatever that number is to find, identify, and put into escrow the replacement property. That's contingency one. Now, when they found or identified that property, what's your job as the listing agent? Or the buyer's agent, excuse me, in that case. To get them to remove that contingency. Get rid of it. They found the replacement home. Gone. Then they have a second one there, which is to close it, right? If they wrote it for both. You can do one or the other. You don't have to always do both on that form. There's options in the first paragraph, right? Sometimes it just says, house is already in we already found our house is already escrow, but we still need to have it closed. And then there's that little paragraph that says we need X number of days after our scheduled close, just in case I can't get that one closed in time, right? COP, how many contingencies are on the COP?
Floor.
What's COP?
So that's the sale of the buyer's property contingency. So I'm buying your house, but I gotta sell my house first.
Contingency? I think it's just one.
It's two, again,
Yeah.
two. What are they? Getting my house that I have to sell into contract and closing my house so that I can move the money over to buy yours. So same thing, when you're a listing agent and you got a COP coming in, you have to get rid of that first contingent. As soon as they tell you and they've satisfied it, get rid of it. Because what happens if it falls out and you haven't removed the contingency?
You're in trouble.
They still have the opportunity to get into the escrow again without ever even really coming back to you to negotiate. If you remove it and it falls out, and they go, oh my God, it fell out, my contingency's gone, then you can go, oh, well, we'll give you 10 more days. But it's gonna cost you, right? So creating spaces for negotiation, huge when you're taking care of your clients. All right, and the last thing I have, and I'll let you guys go, yes or no? Do people like change?
No.
No. Yes.
Yes.
If you're a high eye. Otherwise,
Some. I love change. Myself, love it.
In my pocket.
But for the most part, people don't like change. And so I will say, and I'll say this publicly, we have changed some things. We have changed some things in command. We have changed some things in our checklists. And there are changes that maybe I think are good, or maybe I think are bad, or maybe I thought they were good, and then I heard 420 people tell me how bad they were. And then I have to go back and reevaluate, reevaluate whether or not that was a good change. So, when you have 420 friends, and you make a change, it's gonna ruffle some feathers. It's gonna cause some waves. I'm not trying to ruffle your feathers, and I'm not trying to cause waves. I'm trying to be efficient, and I'm trying to make it easier for you guys. So please, if you have any ruffled feathers along the way, call me, come see me, email me. I'm very approachable. I won't tell you guys, get away from me, go away. So, but just know that I didn't do that with the intent of making your guys' life harder, but I'm trying to keep us in compliance on this side here. And with that, are there any questions?
I have one quick question. The
Yeah.
email that you sent out about the environmental hazard
Correct.
for the land,
Mm-hmm.
does that mean, you said the receipt?
So, yeah, so that was one of those wave causing things. So when you look at the land contract, it states on the land contract, and it's a very strange sentence, and it's pretty clear that they probably copied and pasted it from a different contract and slapped it on there. But it says that the seller shall, when applicable by law, getting dry, deliver to the buyer the receipt of the environmental hazards booklet, comma, environmental booklet and earthquake report, or earthquake guide, comma, and when residential 1 through 4, built before 1960, provide the questionnaire. So how I read that on the contract, that the seller shall deliver the environmental hazards booklet and receipt. That's what I read. But then you talk to CAR attorneys, so that's not necessary. Okay, well that's not necessary. Why is it there? And I haven't got a response back yet. But it was very wavy that day in the office. So does it really need to be there? I don't know. We'll find out still. But for now, no, because I like you guys. I want you guys to be happy to do real estate here. I don't want to anger you guys. But if somebody comes back to me and says, no, that's the way it was supposed to be written, because right now I got a CAR attorney who hasn't answered me back yet. I have somebody else that's in the forms committee at CAR going, ooh, that sentence doesn't look very good. I thought it was this way, but now that I read it like you read it, I don't know. So, you know, but it's not a deal breaker. So for now, don't worry, yeah, we're not gonna require that. All right, any other questions?
I think we spin the wheel and say, thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
One thing I could say about Josh is he really does, just scared, wants to make everyone not get sued and get in trouble. And so we're doing our best to make things A, simpler, and B, make sure you don't go to court. That's what our job is. Okay. Mike, we got some Wheels of Fortune. We need your referrals. Whoa.
Wow.
I like that. That's pretty fancy. How do you get to spin the wheel? You be a referral, someone that is in business with real estate that is actually doing business, not just someone that's not in business. Give me a referral, not mean like, hey, this Ferris guy's pretty good, you should call him. No. You have a conversation, they're expecting my call, maybe you close a deal and you say, hey, thank you so much for that great deal. I really appreciate the way you handled that termite inspection. I was just talking to my team leader, how great you are. Would you please take this call for me? They say, sure. That's it. Hand me the pink slip, they're in front of my offices. I'll give them a call. Many of them, believe it or not, I've talked to most agents in this valley, so it doesn't guarantee that I'll be able to get them in your downline, but I will guarantee I'll do my best to call them, talk to them, have a good conversation with them. Kenny's really good at giving me referrals. He's got to spin this wheel quite a few times. And or if someone names you as a sponsor, you get to spin the wheel. What's the easiest way to get someone to name you as a sponsor? Invite them to career night. Get them into real estate. They get to come spin the wheel. So that's how you do it. Where's the names?
Oh, there is no one.
I got one.
Brandon, let's go.
We have a bunch of names, but I don't know where they went. We have a whole bunch of names because we haven't done this in a while, but for some reason they're not there. So next week we'll have everyone. Brandon, though, you can come spin because I know your name was on here. What happened to the names?
I think my name was on there too.
Yeah, sure. Brandon, come give it a spin and then we'll see how we will. Just to remember to take Brandon's name off next week.
One more plus. I'm just kidding.
We had at least 10 people to spin from last month. That were on there. Give it a good spin, Brandon.
There's like a theme song we play, so it's really intense.
Just spin it, Brandon. This dollar.
He's gonna break it.
That was an alright spin.
That was a good spin.
That was like a 5 out of 10.
100.
Oh! $100 bucks! You can have $100.
Like $95.
Play money. I'll get you $100.
On the floor, Brandon rolls.
Hey, Brandon, $100, Brandon. How do you get $100? You get somebody in your downline. You know what's a lot better than $100? When that person in your downline closes their first deal and you make like $250 or $300 in your profit share. That's actually better.
Brandon.
All right, thank you guys so much. We will see you next week. I won't see you next week. I'm going to be in Playa del Carmen on the beach drinking beer. But the rest of you will be working on your real estate business, coming here for some great training. Have a great week, everybody. Oh, my Speedo is 10.